Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to the southern wing of the Stink Bug Works, that super secret research and development division of Dr. Jet Laboratories, where we sit around all day and we invent things and make stuff. But before we invent things and make stuff, we got to clean up the mess from before, and I'm almost done cleaning up the mess from before. And I brought a couple of things out to talk about because we haven't had any boat gang videos for a while, and there will be more soon, but I thought I'd fill in a little space. Work is progressing on the 16-inch catamaran. I've been sort of taken off that for a little while. I had some preparation to do for an important meeting. And now that important meeting has been resolved until June, so that gives me plenty of time to get to work on the 16-inch cat. One of the things I was looking at was, what the heck am I going to do with the rudder servo? And I found some aircraft bell cranks, and I bought a whole bunch of them. So I'm going to put a bell crank in each kit. And quite frankly, I could just make a laser cut bell crank, and you put a piece of brass tubing on it, boop, 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 boom, you're good. So that's how I'm going to deal with the rudder issue, is just put a bell crank in there and keep that center section sealed. Now, there's always been talk of the next project, and the next project is absolutely, because, see, I want to do things that are kind of where there's a hole in the market, and nobody's making drag boats. And here's something that I'm looking into. Now, you know that I know this guy, and I can get motors from this guy. Well, it turns out he built a bunch of 1105 motors a long time ago that had a stupid high KV, and for whatever reason, he got stuck with them. Well, you know what? Let me tell you what I'm thinking. Now, when I say a stupid high KV, let's go back for a bit. This is an Avox 1005. And I think, did I engrave this one? No. But I know it has a KV of 5500. So this is a 1005 1Y. This thing in a little pylon racer was a screamer. The little Speed 400 pylon racer, this thing would just tear it up. But it had a pretty high KV. This motor is the grandfather of the 1105 new motor. This is a 1005. The new motor is 1105. The difference between a 1005 and an 1105 is the 1105 has 1 millimeter larger diameter stator wafers. And Steve discovered that adding a little more iron to this motor made it more efficient, and that's where the 11 series motors came from. Same thing with these 15 series motors. Everybody else was making 14s, which was 36 millimeters. And Steve discovered that you add a little more iron out here and you can bump up the efficiency. And so now these are kind of the norm in high performance motors is, the 40 millimeter motors. And that was strictly to add more iron to the motor to improve efficiency. So anyway, long story short, Steve has a bunch of this size motors in black cans that say 1105, and the KV, get a load of this, put your seatbelts on, boys and girls, the KV is 10,000 RPM per volt. That's right. So on a fully charged 2S, that's 8 volts. That's 80,000 theoretical RPM. That's really pushing the envelope. But I'm also thinking of buying another tool that will allow me to make a gearbox. It will allow me to make a precision gearbox that would take your 10,000 RPM per volt motor here, gear it down 3 to 1 into two rotating parallel shafts fairly close together. In fact, so close together that you wouldn't be able to get two motors close enough together to get that. But I could do that with gears. I could have one of these stupid high RPM per volt motors geared 3 to 1. Now remember, what's this boat going to do? It's going to sit at a standstill, and then it's going to accelerate to full speed and go a little distance and stop. A stupid high RPM geared down 3 to 1 spinning counter-rotating propellers, that might be a hoot. Steve has 5 of these motors. I'm tempted to buy all 5 of them and then build 5 kits. Look at this. This is a modern drag boat. The older style drag boats were done like unlimited hydros, to where the sponson and the body were all one piece with some little edges defining the difference. You notice modern drag boats are built like outriggers, and in fact the rules require them to be built like outriggers. In fact, the rules are real specific. You have this survival capsule, you have this outrigger thing, so surprisingly enough, these things are, when you get in a crash, they're pretty survivable. They're well designed. But here's kind of an overhead view. Look how simple the design is. It's a slab side, a slab top, a slab bottom, sponsons any way you want to make them, and bingo, a drag boat with a stupid high kV motor that you run on 2S, get 80,000 RPM, geared down, and you could gear it down and use adequate props that you could control everything with amperage. You know, props and amperage. You could use little tiny props and not draw a whole lot of amps. So what do you guys think about that for the next jet project? Once the 16-inch cat is out the door, this would be pretty darned easy to duplicate. This one looks like Problem Child, but I don't see where it says Problem Child. But Problem Child had these wings, but it's still an outrigger. It just had wings built around the carbon fiber tubes, and it has more of a aircraft-shaped cockpit. I think this was one of the early outrigger style before the safety guys said, you know what, build them like this. So anyway, I just thought I'd let you in on some thinking and where I'm going. Maybe I'll just buy a bunch of those motors from Steve. Until next time, boys and girls, jet out. Oh, where's that damn button? Oh, here it is.